Back to the Art of Math. Today we're going to go over another algebra application. We're going to go over fixed versus variable cost problems. Now, a little bit of a heads up for the grand finale in this video. There's going to be a little bit of violence, so I apologize for that, but hopefully it'll help you guys learn. Alright, so here's the normal question you might find. There's a telephone plan, let's call it A. So telephone plan A costs $5 a month and 10 cents per minute. Telephone plan B has no fixed cost, but costs 15 cents per minute. How many minutes must you talk for to make plan A cheaper than plan B? Alright, so what is fixed and what is variable cost? So fixed costs, that means no matter how much you use something, you're going to pay the same amount. That amount is fixed. So when plan A costs $5, that $5 is fixed in the sense that whether you talk 0 minutes or 10 minutes or thousands of minutes, you're still going to have to pay $5, at least $5. Whereas plan B, you have to pay $0 up front, but the amount you're going to end up paying in total will depend on the amount of minutes you talk. So they're both going to depend on the amount of minutes, but the trade-off is A costs more up front, but then your per minute cost is cheaper. So in other words, you're going to have to talk for quite a few minutes with A to make it worthwhile. So let's see how we would model. So, and that, because it varies per minute, we call this 10 cents versus 15 cents. These are the variable costs. All right, so let X equals the number of minutes you're going to talk. So on the left side, we're going to have plan A. So we're going to have the 5 for the $5 plus the 10 cents, so that's 0.1x. So if you talk for X minutes, you're going to pay a tenth of the amount of minutes. So let's say if you talk for 100 minutes, it'll be 0.1 times 100 plus that $5 for the total cost of A. Now for B, you're just going to take that 15 cents a minute, 0.15, times the number of minutes. So we're going to set them equal. First thing we're going to do here, we're going to annihilate these fractions and decimals because we like annihilating. And now we're going to multiply everything through by 100 because these decimals are not fun to work with. So that becomes a 500, that becomes a 10, that becomes a 15. Solve this, we get 5, so move the 10x over, so we get 5x is 500 and x is 100. Now that's the break-even point. That means if you talk for 100 minutes, plan A and plan B will cost the same. But since the question wants to know at what point would A be a better deal, then you want to go just above 100 and the first whole number would be 101. So that's why this would be 101 minutes or more. All right, so that's your sort of standard question. Now here's a little bit of a stupid, funny, maybe poor taste thing I wanted to show you guys that I made up. This might help you kind of learn the problem. All right, so here's a stupid version or variation on that problem we first saw. Would you rather get hit in the stomach or made fun of and then tossed into cold water? Now, a lot of you are probably thinking you don't want to get hit in the stomach, so you'd rather just get made fun of because they're just words, and tossed into cold water, so that's unpleasant, but option B sounds better. And so let's model this really quickly. So let's say S would be stomach, so you're getting hit in the stomach versus, and let's say the higher S is, the worse it is, right? So we want to know which one of these is lower. F is fun, so you're made fun of, plus T, we'll talk about that in a second. So T is the cold water. But here, so the answer is going to depend on how long you have to sit in the cold water for. So that's this T for time. You might think, well, I really don't want to get punched in the stomach. We're assuming it's like a pretty strong hit, not like a little tap. So this is pretty bad. And if you just have to jump into the cold water for a second, surely you would probably, well, most people would pick getting made fun of and tossed into the cold water. However, if you have to sit in that cold water for like an hour, so if your T is pretty high, remember this is now your variable cost. The S and the F, these are fixed. So you're going to be made fun of or you're going to get hit, happens no matter what. But depending on how long you have to sit in this cold water, this could either become not a big deal or a huge deal. So if you have to sit in cold water for like an hour, you can either get sick or freeze to death. So that's just to relate this to like a real life problem. Not like this where you would actually use math to do this, but just to make it a little more fun. Again, apologize for the poor taste of violence, but hopefully this helps you guys understand fixed versus variable cost. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.